What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
What's cracking, y'all? What's cracking? Back with some more Kobe Bryant content from the Jonny Arnett universe. When Kobe proved he was unselfish. Oh boy, this is one that has driven me crazy for years, and I swear no matter what I say, no matter how many videos I do on it, no matter how many times I break it down, it's just one of those things where I'm just never gonna win this one. Yes, I love Kobe Bryant. He's my favorite player of all time. I've done videos on him and the cons of his game. I don't always do the pros of his game. I even broke down one of his worst basketball performance I ever seen, where he was extremely selfish, shot chucking beyond belief. I couldn't believe what I was watching. What I'm trying to say is these kinds of games existed in Kobe's career. Yes, there were days or moments or even stretches through his growth where he was not passing for whatever reason, and he had his reasons, and I've heard him talk about his reasons, right? And I hated these moments. I hated when he played like that. But for me to sit here and say that this was every game or the bulk of the games or even half of the games of his career, I would be lying. But people take this narrative, and especially these narratives are running strong with Kobe these days in mainstream media, because he's one guy that they are trying to diminish and make him seem like something lesser than what he was and challenge his legacy and his greatness. You're going to hear this all the time on mainstream media. But from a guy that watched this guy play his own career, and I've had my moments of frustration with him, and I've always been honest with my critique on Kobe, this was not an everyday thing. This wasn't what I would call the norm for Kobe. Yeah, you could probably say he was more unselfish than most other basketball players. Sure. But to label him selfish for the entirety of his career, duration of his career, I can't go there. I can't. I won't label him that. But those moments definitely existed. But you know, people see it another way. That drives me crazy. Along with other Kobe narratives that drive me crazy. That people just shooting out their mouths. Like, look, tell me you didn't watch him play. You didn't. You didn't. You want to talk about stats and all sorts of stuff, but then you don't want to mention how he's number 2 all time for shooting guards and assists total. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, come on, man. And for you LeBron people, you're going to say, oh, that's just longevity. Well, don't get mad when people look at LeBron stats and say that's just longevity. See, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You guys are ridiculous. I mean, the narratives were so crazy with this guy that he got booed in an all-star game. And they said he was ball hogging and being selfish because he took, 20-something shots? I'm like, are you kidding me? And part of that had to do with him playing in Philadelphia. I get it. And the year before, he made a comment about ripping the fans' heart out because they played Philly in the finals. So that had something to do with it. But I remember seeing it in the newspaper. Kobe Bryant ball hogged in the All-Star game. I was like, are you guys serious right now? He took 20-something shots. I mean, he connected on most of them. I mean, he won MVP. I mean, he led them to a victory. I mean, he went out there and competed. I mean, what? Back to his hometown of Philly. I mean, usually the players that go back to their hometown or playing for their franchise in their city, they're usually the ones that, take the brunt of the shots, putting on the show for their people. Anyway, let's get into the video.
For years, the Mamba has had a reputation of being a selfish shot chucker. Many people think that Kobe cared more about getting his points than getting his teammates involved. Some have even gone as far as saying that Kobe cared more about his scoring than even winning.
No.
I absolutely do not believe that.
No.
And the reason I don't is because I followed Kobe closely throughout his career. And I remember the several instances where he was anything but selfish. Here's a massive example. There were several games in Kobe's career where he could have broke scoring records, but instead chose to sit out the fourth quarter because it wasn't needed for the win.
Yes.
In Kobe's career, he had 5 games where he scored at least 50 points through 3 quarters of play. And in only one of those instances did Kobe play in the fourth quarter, and that was the game where he scored 81 points against the Raptors.
Think about this. Kobe had several opportunities to score 80 plus points, and he opted not to. A couple weeks before he scored 80, he scored 62 in 3 quarters, outscored the entire Mavericks team by himself, didn't play the fourth. He would have got 80 plus that game while outscoring an entire team. I wanted to see it. I was mad at him for not going in. Just to see something that historic. One man outgunned an entire team. Go ahead, Arnett.
And why Kobe played in the fourth quarter in that contest is because that was the only game where he had to in order to secure the win. In 2002 against the Grizzlies, where he had 56, his Lakers were up by 39 points. In 2003 against the Nuggets, when he had 51, his Lakers were up by 33 points. In 2005 against the Mavericks, where he had 62, his Lakers were up by 34 points. And in 2006 against the Jazz, when he had 52, his Lakers were up by 22 points. And in the 81-point game in 2006 against the Raptors, where he had 53 through 3, his Lakers were up by just 6 points. Specifically, in that game where Kobe had 62 through 3 quarters, the Mamba had single-handedly outscored the entire Mavericks team through 3, 61-62. In the history of the league, no player has ever outscored an entire team by himself. Not only did Kobe pass up history, but he passed up possibly the most impressive single-game record in NBA history.
Did Jonny Arnett just spitting what I just spit now? Come on, man. I wanted to see that.
He proved time and time again that it wasn't the points or the historic records that he cared about, but it was just the W that he wanted. Another instance of Kobe's unselfishness was at the end of the 2011 to 2012 regular season, where Kobe was in a race with Kevin Durant for the scoring title.
Bruh, I just spoke about this in another video, where Kobe could have just went on ahead, played, got the scoring title for that season, and Mike Brown asked him if he's like, Kobe, you want to play this game? And Kobe looked at Mike Brown like, you got me effed up. What makes you think I care about this regular season scoring title when I'm trying to gear up for the playoffs? And I think that's when Kobe lost respect for Mike Brown, because it's like, you really got me misunderstood. Like a lot of these other people out here that think I just care about scoring. Preach. I just talked about this in the previous video.
KD was averaging 28 and the Mamba was averaging 27.9. Kobe had the last opportunity to win the scoring title over Kevin Durant. And in order to do so, Kobe would need to score 38 points in the last regular season game of the year, which he could certainly do with ease if he was gunning for it. A scoring title in his 16th season would have certainly been an impressive accomplishment for Bryant, but the Lakers were locked in to the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. So instead of selfishly going for the scoring title, he instead sat out the game against the Kings and rested in preparation for the playoffs. I don't think a lot of players would have passed up that opportunity, seeing how guys often care so much about their accolades and about how their accomplishments and stats affect their future contracts. The third instance where Kobe was very unselfish was in the 2003 NBA regular season, and a lot of you guys are going to be familiar with this instance. Because of an injury to Shaquille O'Neal, Phil Jackson had told Kobe Bryant that he needed to be more aggressive offensively. and that was the start of Kobe's legendary streak of 9 straight games with at least 40 points. Outside of Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are tied for the longest streak of 40-point games in NBA history. The thing is, that streak could have been much, much longer for Kobe Bryant. But after Shaq had returned from injury, he was ready to be more assertive offensively. According to Kobe, that was when Phil Jackson pulled him aside and said that if they're not careful, they're going to lose Shaq mentally because he's not as involved in the offense.
Yep.
For this reason, Kobe took a step backwards and was visibly less aggressive offensively and essentially surrendered that 40-point streak just to keep the team's chemistry going in an attempt to win their 4th straight NBA championship. This was a tremendously unselfish move by Kobe at a time where him and Shaq had been beefing to seemingly no end. This wasn't any insignificant streak he was passing up either. Even if Kobe had extended his streak by just one more game, he would have surpassed Michael Jordan and had the longest streak of 40-point games since the NBA merger, and the longest streak ever caught on film. Ultimately, Kobe had supreme confidence in himself. And yes, of course, he thought the best course of action for winning was doing things his own way, which was often him shooting the ball as many times as possible. But I think sometimes Kobe is unfairly given the criticism that he was a selfish player, who put himself, who put his stats, and who put his ego ahead of winning.
It was never
about
the
And that's the part that I think people misunderstand. As I watched Kobe play for 20 years straight, and I firmly believe, based on everything that I saw, that there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that Kobe cared more about than winning. So what do you guys think? What is a common criticism about an NBA player that you guys think is actually not true? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you, Johnny. I didn't think he was gonna go that angle in this video about showing instances where this shows you that this guy didn't give a damn about the points. It was about winning. He's, it's a little bit overblown and selfish. I didn't know he was going to take that angle. And that was a smart angle to take because I wasn't even kind of looking in that direction, obviously. I would be lying if I said a lot of those games I get it. He did the right thing, the sportsman way of doing things. But it's like, man, what if he would have just played that game? What if he would have just kept playing? There was a time he played Mike and the Wizards. Now, I think he played all 4 quarters, but he didn't play many minutes in the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. But when he played Mike, and he had like 42 at halftime, and he had only missed like 4 or 5 shots, I'm just like, yo. But there's just so many instances of him having he could have had way more historic games than he actually had. And then that streak of 9 straight 40-point games, I remember that because it was a hot debate, T-Mac and Kobe that year. And then Kobe started reeling off those 40-point games. And then Shaq came back, and he's like, hey, you need to dial it down because we might lose the big fella. And Kobe was like, really? Turned down for what? I'm cooking. And they were winning. That was another narrative. Like, Kobe couldn't be successful without Shaq. I was like, there were stretches where Kobe was carrying that team, and Shaq was out hurt. And Kobe was playing through injuries on top of that and carrying them 2 victories. There was a moment in time where Kobe was logging all these triple doubles, even had some consecutive triple doubles, and Phil wanted him playing more point guard. And then people were like, "Hey, Kobe, can you average a triple double every game?" I don't remember what he said, but I remember in a separate situation where Kobe was like, "That's not how I play. I don't want to monopolize the ball like that. I'm taking away from what other players do if I try to be that kind of guy, but I could if I wanted to, but I don't give a damn about stats." He just played the game the way he played it best and how he felt he needed to dissect that team during that moment or before that game, whatever his approach was, man. I'm done with the crazy Kobe narratives, man. That's one reason I'll rock with Johnny, because, there are some Kobe fans here on this channel that watch Kobe as much as I did. Jonny Arnett, I could obviously know he does, because he could regurgitate this stuff off the top of his head about Kobe's career like I can. Same way the Larry Bird fans here can just drop knowledge off the top of their head about Bird, and the Jordan fans here too, you know what I mean? So you know, my Kobe knowledge base is equivalent to the Bird and Jordan people here. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say about it, man. Shout out to the Kobe Bryant fans out there. These are conversations that I'll continue to lose, I'm sure, because it's the unpopular opinion when it comes to Kobe Bryant. But anywho, there's more I want to say, but I'm gonna cut it short because I live near an airfield, and these jets are just keep flying over the house right now, and I have to keep stopping mid-sentence and waiting for the jets to pass and then finish and then edit it. So these planes won't stop flying over me. So I'm just kill the video. But check out the Kobe Bryant playlist. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.